Village. Noong 1964, isang Canadian philosopher at media theorist na si Marshall McLuhan ang naghula sa pag-usbong ng internet. Sa kanyang librong The Global Village, sabi niya na balang araw, magiging konektado ang buong mundo. Mahirap paniwalaan ang mga salitang ito noon, ngunit ito na tayo ngayon, nabubuhay sa cyber world at kumikita gamit ang technology. I am China Barachina. Follow me, and together, let's follow the money.
Time to think rich. Be inspired by personal stories of success. Learn to invest without fear and greed. Ride the latest business trends. Dream big. Dare to be the Philippines' next billionaire. I'm China Barachina. Follow me. Let's follow the money. Only here on Billionaire Digital.
Good afternoon, Rich Takers! Welcome to another yet exciting episode of Follow the Money. Please comment where you're watching us from so we'd know where to say hi to you guys. Alam nyo ba, it's gonna be very exciting. This episode is gonna be I'm super mind blown, not only because of our guests today, but because they are the starter of ewallet and cryptocurrency here in the Philippines. Sino mag-aakala na darating ang panahon na makikita natin ang mga kausap natin sa telepono? Well, yung mga bata dyan, they have never thought that it's not gonna be possible. Pero sa mga not so young, dati, you can only be satisfied by, just listening to them on the other side of the line. More so, who would have thought now we can do business and earn money by just using our smartphones and computers? Because of the internet, we can now do our jobs or run our companies remotely. Yan ang pag-uusapan natin ngayon, how to increase your wealth online. Our big-time guest for today is the former Chief Financial Officer of Binance. He also played an important role in the acquisition of one of the world's largest social networking apps called Grindr. He holds a bachelor's degree in economics and East Asian studies from Harvard University. Currently, he is the president and CEO of Coins.ph, the leading cryptocurrency and mobile wallet platform in the Philippines. Let's get to know him more. This is Big Time, as in big business inspiring guest. Hello, Wee. How are you?
Very nice to be here.
Thank you so much for saying yes to this interview. So I just found out through our researcher that you also have a dating app, and I would want to have an opportunity to ask you it. And also I'm a user of Binance, so I was also thrilled that you also handle that. How do you switch yourself from this in terms of strategy when it comes to different sources of businesses like this, like dating apps? Everything is online, but dating apps and then finance. Can you just give us I'm just interested to know more of that.
Yeah, sort of my background has always been investing. I started off my career working for Goldman Sachs, one of the leading investment firms. And then prior to sort of Binance and Grindr, and then prior to sort of running Coins today, I had been CFOs for 3 different startups in China, basically helping them to scale and grow, and also at the same time fundraise and invest. And so sort of I would say I have a pretty interesting and diverse background in terms of being able to bridge the world of technology and the world of finance. With my CFO hat, I help companies to sort of manage their finances, to invest. But with my CEO hat today, and then also with an investor hat that I had at Grindr, where I was the vice chairman, I think it's more to sort of, looking after not just the financial health of the business, but actually sort of the long-term picture, executing, the strategy, and then also basically, bringing, service to our users. I think at the end of the day, the world that we're living in today now, I think, whether it's a dating service, whether it's a financial service, whether it's ordering food, all of that is done sort of with your phone, right, or with your laptop. But then sort of the interface of basically traditional services, trading services are all basically that doesn't change. It's just that the underlying service that you provide is different.
Wei, can you share a vision behind Coins.ph and how it has evolved since your tenure as a CEO?
Yeah. So an investor group and myself, we bought Coins.ph last year from Gojek. And over the last year and a half, we've done a ton of things in terms of updating the app, upgrading the sort of the user interface, adding support for basically more than I think 8 different blockchains, and then adding support for over 40 plus tokens on our platform, and adding sort of Web3 services. And I think the bigger picture for Coins is actually just to enable, I think, the Filipinos here in the country to be able to access the whole new world of Web3.
Coins.ph has been a prominent player and in the Philippine market for digital wallets. How do you envision the platform's role in broader adoption of cryptocurrencies in the country?
Yeah, Coins has a long history in the Philippines. It's actually one of the first e-wallets. So people could actually use it. I think one of the original use cases was actually to buy load, to cash in, to send money out to the different, different, and at the same time, it was also the first app that I think a lot of Filipinos bought Bitcoin from back in 2017, 2018. And obviously they probably made money from that, right? So the created wealth if they had held on to sort of so I think because of that, Coins has actually have a very positive brand association, because it is an application. It is one of these few money apps where it helps you make money. So I think sort of big vision. I think we want to consolidate that user experience, in that you can actually spend money and make money in the digital world, whether you're playing games or whether you're trading. At the same time, you can actually spend that directly from Coins in the daily lives. And at the same time, I think what we want to do is we want to be able to provide you basically world-class financial services, right? And then given that Coins is a licensed exchange or licensed by the BSP as a virtual asset service provider, and also the wallet, and also I think we're licensed for FX and remittance. So I think all of those are basically use cases that we can provide these financial services towards. I think one of the innovation that we've brought forth this year is actually to help I think overseas workers. There's of which there's about 10 million that work outside of the Philippines, and they send money home every year or every day, and and they get charged exorbitant rates. And I think the average in Southeast Asia is like about 5 or 6%. But if you're
remittances, yes.
So we've been partnering with a global partner in Circle, which is the issuer of the USDC stablecoin. We're partnering with them to basically to help overseas workers to send money home cheaper through sort of stablecoin rounds, which are basically transaction fees are very low. Transaction time is almost instant, and we can actually they can actually get directly sell the USDC, send the USDC into the Coins wallet, and then sell the USDC into pesos, and they actually spend the peso directly from the Coins wallet. And that's a seamless experience vis-a-vis before. You basically have to line up at a kiosk somewhere random in the world, and put in your local currency, and then wait God knows how long to pick up cash at a local kiosk here, right? And I think and with the sort of adoption of digital wallets, we can make that experience much more seamless and safer, right? It's faster, safer, and cheaper. And I think just by offering that optionality, we hope more users will use stablecoin, use USDC, and use Coins for their remittance needs.
That's really nice and interesting. I've already experienced, especially the work dynamic at this point, wherein people can work from abroad by just staying at home. And that one of the challenges is like in terms of remittances, when you are being paid for a different currency. I've seen a lot of US dollars being changed to peso, but it's very rare, and sometimes it's very limited that you have euro to peso. It's actually one of the challenges. Is it part of also the innovation that you're trying? It's part of it because it's USDC, right?
Yeah, I think like because it's because I think you get into sort of this thing what I call a network effect, right? Like the more people that use USDC here, that means more people will use like more people that use USDC in the US, and their adoption and their popularity in the US means that we workers in the Philippines or SMEs here in the Philippines that make money selling our digital services or physical services in the United States can basically receive USDC. And because USDC is regulated and licensed and fully backed in the United States. So if we sell services to the US, then we can ask the merchant or ask the buyer to send us USDC. And then you can basically send the USDC to your point directly to the Coins wallet account. With a proper invoice, and then you can actually sell it into pesos. We can hold on to it and earn 5%, which is what we have right now in terms of like a USDC hold and earn campaign.
How do you envision the platform's role in terms of putting it to the next level? This is like in terms of adoption, but this is like being the next phase for Coins.ph.
We are basically building Coins.ph to be I would say digitally, or first of all, we're digital native already, but we also want to be Web3 native. What that means is that you could be earning digital assets for your work for the service that you provide, right? Like if you're promoting, NFT project ABC or game Web3 game ABC or token ABC, you're going to probably get paid in digital assets, right? But then with these opportunities, then you basically but at the end of the day, you still have to live in the real world, and you still have to buy coffee with pesos. You still have to, buy houses or buy cars with pesos, right? So I think there's going to be a need then, sort of like to service this new generation of digital native, Web3 savvy, sort of full time or part time or contract time, professionals. In terms of helping them to manage their finances, right, in the digital world. And I think that's sort of like the all-encompassing service that we hope to provide here.
Looking at the Philippines, how do you think, how young is the Philippines when it comes to financial literacy, and especially when it comes to investing in different digital assets?
Yeah, I mean, I think like I'll give you a pretty funny anecdote. Like, just because they're young doesn't mean they're not savvy, right? Like if you look at sort of like the kids today, what they do a lot of time in their spare time is actually playing video games, right? And then every video game you play, there's an economy in that video game, right? You spend money to buy the gold, and then you spend the money to farm the gold, and then you spend the money to buy the emeralds. So people are actually quite savvy in terms of like knowing how the economies of games work, because most people sort of play games growing up here, right? Whether they're PC games, mobile games, or online games, right? And that's no different in terms of like sort of the digital tokens that you see in your wallet, right? So I think like there's a certain level of gamification that basically educates you and teach you to basically how to buy, spend, and earn. Right. And that's sort of like, that's true sort of in the real world. Right. And I think that encapsulates that, but that's very different than, I think, once you sort of exit this digital realm where you basically have to, spend a lot of time, you're basically wasting a lot of time doing things that aren't really important, right? Like traffic, like waiting for later, right? Like, there's a lot, you waste a lot doing random things, right? That's why I think like, if you want to allocate your time effectively, then you want to be earning things, even when you're like on the road, right? And I think those are the opportunities that kind of exist at the beginning of Web3 that may have not existed sort of in the traditional 9 to 5. And I think that's that sort of mentality I think that the kids have today, in that they're actually better at allocating their time to play and work, right? And you know what? They may want to work less, but they just want to earn as much. So they're going to be much more aggressive in seeking out these kind of like non-traditional channels and opportunities. And hey, guess what? They grew up playing video games, so they're actually quite astute about how token economy works, right? I'm just like, right, like so I think this whole new generation, I think there's going to be and they're on their phone like 80% of their waking hours anyways, right? So it's just like so we should be able to provide financial services that's sort of that caters to that kind of style or mindset.
I want to take a step back
Mm-hmm.
of when you were saying about a CFO hat, a CEO hat.
Mm-hmm.
Who is way outside if he's not doing any business? How do you like unwind? And how do you like balance your life, work life, if there's
Uh,
such a
Yeah, my wife calls me a nerd. He's like, "You're such a nerd." It's like, and even in your spare time, you listen to like nerd podcasts about finance and like world politics and stuff that
what's
like
your favorite channel for
uh,
podcast?
I have three podcasts that I'm like a loyal subscriber to. One is the BS podcast, which is Bill Simmons, like the sports guy. So it's a sports. I'm a sports junkie as well. Like all things like basketball, football, Olympic sports, soccer, F1 racing. I'm a UFC. I'm a junkie for all of that stuff. And then the other one is there's actually quite a couple of good ones. One's called Hidden Forces, which is more about geopolitics, and there's another one called Bankless, which is a sort of like very crypto native podcast by yeah. So I think it's a combination of these.
So when you said you're following a sports podcast, are you following the Kelsey brothers, Travis Kelsey and his brother, the football guy?
You mean the Swifties?
Yes, that's right. I have to mention it.
Of course. They're undefeated until the Chiefs were undefeated since they started dating until this weekend.
I know, right? So I have to say it. And speaking of dating, a little bit background. Why did you choose, or what did you see in Grinder? Having, what did you see? What potential did you see in that? And are you interested in other dating apps out there?
Yeah, I think like so putting my investor hat on now. I think I saw basically Grinder, like the background of this of that business is actually it was a gay founder. He launched the app in 2008. It actually was launched before Tinder. It was the very first location-based dating app. If you guys remember when iPhone came out, that was when location-based services began to think, because you could actually pin exactly where you are. Like, because before, like, how do you can actually pin both time and location and person at the same time. Like, I think that was when location-based dating, and the proximity is actually probably one of the most important things in terms of dating. So sort of like he like Joel, he bootstrapped Grindr for like a solid 8 years, and then because of the taboo nature of gay dating, he wasn't able to get any mainstream VCs to invest. He was trying to sell the business to like the Match, which owned Tinder and all the other traditional, and they didn't want to do it because they saw it as too controversial. So for me, I was like, this is a great business. There's a tremendous amount. This was before sort of like I would say, gay dating, gay marriage was actually gaining more popular acceptance globally. So I was like, I think the world is growing more acceptance. We're basically growing into a more inclusive world, and I believe this service is going to have a much more global adoption outside of the U.S.
Interesting. I didn't know that it started way before Tinder. Are you a personal? Do you personally believe in online dating, Way?
Absolutely. People don't even date anymore, man. They just meet online and they meet yeah. It's just sort of like the line between like dating and like just general relationship is long term. Like all of that's been mingled up. But I do think that it's like it's no longer a taboo to say I met my boyfriend or girlfriend online.
I have so many success stories about that. Way that my friends. I have one time, just to like a side story. I have a friend who was like thinking of entering the monastery to become a nun, and then I said, "Why don't you try this app first?" I'm serious, and then, they're married now. And so it was just one time she tried it, and now they're married. So it's ever since then, like, whoa, this is true. Like a real story is it's happening here. All right. So when you saw Coins, so this is your investor hat right now, and we will go back to Coins. And what did you see? What kind of potential did you see in the Philippines and in Coins itself? besides the fact that we have a young generation of like mid consumers here, which is like 25 years old. Apart from that, what do you see as a potential in acquiring Coins.ph?
Yeah, I think I saw many like because in business, I think you look at sort of like how solid is the foundation of the business, like what's the reputation of the business, and then within the financial service sector is like what licenses can it provide, right? And are the regulators are they good regulators? Are they practical? Are they helpful and supportive of the businesses that they regulate? And can I grow here? Right. I think those are the things that if I do grow here, what areas can I grow into? Right. And I think demographics definitely played into it. Half the population here in the Philippines are under the age of 30. And it's a substantial country in terms of size. Right. And it's one of the few countries in the world where, adults are still having babies. I mean, that's a big thing. Like demographics is a big thing. Right.
Yeah.
It's growth. Right. And I think, and with the stability, I think in the economy and in governance, we actually, people here are probably more bullish about the future than a lot of other places in the world. And that tells you that you're going to have babies, have families, and then spend money and try to basically earn money, create wealth, and enjoy life. And I think that a lot of that plays into it. And that's you can't say that for a lot of the regions of the world. The stability that we have here in the Philippines. I think that's sort of the underlying factor. And I think the other one is basically in terms of the sector that I'm in, crypto assets and digital assets. I think, Coins is fully licensed. It's actually one of the first licensed FASP here in the Philippines. And I'm a firm believer in sort of, in the future of digital assets, in Bitcoin, Ethereum, and in a lot of the assets that's traded on Coins, right? When we looked at Coins 2 years ago, I think it only listed, 6 tokens or 5 tokens. So I saw an opportunity to basically increase the amount of tokens that it offered. If you look at the international exchanges, they offer like 400 tokens, right? We're not going to be able to get there because we're regulated. But so I think all of that, points to, Philippines is actually a really good market. But I think I've gone on enough shows to tell that now. Like all my competitors come to the Philippines.
But Ways, you told me that there is still a lot to learn about cryptocurrency. How do you plan to educate and empower its user base to understand and engage more on cryptocurrencies? Because this is we can still consider this as a road less traveled.
Yep. Yeah. I mean, I think what we want to do is we want to get people to start like just using it. Right, or start holding it. One campaign that we did last year that we're going to try to do more of is, we had a campaign with Globe where if you had loyalty points in Globe, you can actually use it and get vouchers and coins to basically convert your loyalty points into Bitcoin. I mean, I think that's a great way to introduce owning digital assets, right? Even if it's a very small amount, and if that appreciates over time, it's great, right? Because you just instead of converting your loyalty points into like a useless, umbrella or T-shirt, or cake or coffee, you get to convert it to Bitcoin.
Yeah. So
we want to make you thin and wealthy, right? So
that's correct. I agree with you.
we would like to do more of those campaigns, and then just to get people I think like one thing I think is like I can't sit here and tell you we have these education campaigns, we have these videos you can watch, but I'm a firm believer that the best way to teach someone how to do something is just have them try it.
Yes, exactly. Now we will go to the second part of this interview with the fast talk. So in this part, you'll just tell me the answer. No right or wrong, just on top of mind. All right. Yes or no? Save before you invest.
Yes.
How many sources of income should one person have?
One.
How do you divide your 24 hours a day?
Yeah, start with one.
Start with one, yes. So how do you divide your 24 hours a day in percentage?
888, sleep 8. Is that 24? Yeah.
8 hours of sleep.
At least sleep 8 hours. Out of 16 hours, 2 hours with family and then 10 hours.
Are you an early bird or a night owl?
I'm a night owl.
Oh, okay. Who is your biggest inspiration in life?
Definitely my dad.
Oh, okay, that's cool. When starting a business, what is more important, capital or courage?
Courage.
All right, give me one notable lesson from one of your mentors.
Have domain expertise.
What's your pet peeve at work? They're
Uh,
listening.
like for myself or seeing it in person.
Yeah, both. Like, what
Oh,
does your pet peeve at work?
wasting time.
Oh no, we shouldn't be overtime now. Now complete the sentence. Money is this is whatever it is that you want to how you would want to complete it. Money is the root of all blank.
Oh man, there's a popular saying, "Money's the root of all evil." Actually, I don't.
No, but in your case, what do you think you believe in? Money is the root of all blank.
Drive.
All right, thank you so much. And now the last part, we will not gonna extend. I promise you, your money fest. The 3 tips for our viewers today. If there's one thing, 3 things that you can impart, what are those?
Yeah, I think there's I think one I mentioned I think become an expert at something. Even as like because I think there's it's like but I think just become an expert at something. Like even like for example in the U.S., even if you're a handyman and you can help you're an electrician, you can actually fix things. Right? So I definitely have to be an expert. Be an expert at something. You can start that quite early. 2 is definitely hold Bitcoin. Hold Bitcoin.
Hold Bitcoin. All right.
Yeah. And the third one is use Coins.ph.
All right, there you go. There you have it. Thanks, Wayne. So we have learned so much today about cryptocurrency, and I hope you spend good time here in the Philippines.
Definitely. Thank you for having me here.
Thank you, Wei. Thanks, Wei. And then now, investing in the stock market is now made easy thanks to online trading platforms and digital wallets like Coins.ph. We have a new stock to watch out for. Baka malista yan sa market, we'll never know. Excited na ba kayong malaman kung ano ang stock pick of the week? Our guest trader today is known for his technical analysis and his ability to identify trends in the market. He has a YouTube channel where he shares his interviews and random thoughts about different companies. Talagang napaka-generous, always ready to share his knowledge and experience to newbies. Welcome to Follow the Money, Mr. Hernan Spyfrat Segovia. Hello, Spyfrat.
Good afternoon po.
Good afternoon. Kilala ko na po si Spyfrat way back dahil sa kanyang Twitter. Pero ngayon lang kami nag-meet.
Yeah.
Then wala siya nakita. Well, first is, ano ba yung story behind the name Spyfrat? Hernan?
Actually, Spyfrat is a band's name, no? Because when I was in college, I used to play bass and do some little vocals. So, band's name is Spyfrat. Then, later on, when we graduated from college, I kept the name Spyfrat from the IRC channel. Yun ang dating chat app, no? In my times.
MIRC ba yan?
IRC. ASL, please.
ASL, please.
Yes. So, actually, it was Juvis Bistan that actually put Spyfrat's call. So, that is Spyfrat lang. So, naging Spyfrat's call. Juvis Bistan Jr.
Oh, shout out to Sir Jobs! Talaga ba? I didn't know that. So, hilig mo talagang mag-trade? Hilig mo talaga ang stock market?
Yeah, when I was still in college, yes. Nag-start ako. Actually, in high school, I got interested in doing accounting aral sa stock market. But in Iloilo, there's no materials with regards to such. So, other than the newspaper lang dati. Yun.
By the way, shout out sa mga taga Iloilo. So hindi na natin papatagalin pa, Spyfrat. What
Okay.
is your fearless forecast?
Okay, so ang PSE may pag-asa pa ba? But no, currently, no. Before I start, I'd like to introduce a little bit of technical analysis. Konti lang, because most of my charts that I'm going to present here relies heavily in those two indicators. Okay, so a little disclaimer, I'm not trying to look smart. So fundamental analysis is my kind of weakness, but I have friends like sa BOH Society, sa Discord, and the SC family where I can ask about fundamental analysis. So yun, sina Jet, Tony, Walter, Jojo Gascon, no? Sina Miss Q, DMT, yun. So mga FinTwit friends ko po yun. And also Nicky Franco, I subscribe to his Twitter account.
Shout
Yeah.
out, Sir Nikki.
Mas magaling masyado sa fundamental analysis.
Oh,
Yun.
Lodi yan.
Also, Jonathan Rabilas. Hi, Lodi.
Oh, Jonathan.
Yes.
Baka naman maunlakan kami ng mga yan. Yan. So,
Yes, so yun, I am Spyfrat, and a little bit of what I'm going to present about the system that I'm using with regards to studying charts. No, ito siya. So my trading system actually involves in two indicators only. So Bollinger Bands, whereas we set it at 50 period and 0.2 standard deviations, and yung RSI or relative strength indicator po na 30 period na strength. So yung default palagi sa charting tools is 14 period. So ni-change natin to 30 period. So eventually what you're going to see here right now is the Bollinger Band set at 50 and 0.2 standard deviation and the RSI 30 period. So yun, parang oscillate yung tatlong lines na yan, and the middle is a 50 MA. So parang ano siya, hindi siya gaano typical technical analysis na mahirap aralin. I swear, no, madali siyang matutunan. Okay? So next slide please.
So ngayon, para lang doon sa mga people or audience natin today na hindi pa nakaka-experience mag-trade using charts, ito po ang mga tools na ginagamit ni Spyfrat when it comes to when to enter and exit the market. So itong mga lines na to, tinatawag nating indicators or market indicators, dito niya tinitignan ano ba yung perfect or yung almost perfect or tamang timing ng pag-enter sa market at paglabas. Yan.
Yes, indeed. Yes. Okay. So why use a custom Bollinger? No, actually, John Bollinger is the father of Bollinger Band. No, his default setting is 20 period and 2 standard deviation. He uses to measure price volatility. But a little tweak, I modified it. I'm sorry, John. Pasensyahan mo na. I changed the default to 50 MA. Period and 0.2 standard deviation. This is to measure trend volatility of the stock price. So ika nga sabi natin, trend is your friend, no? So I particularly like it with the B band when the Bollinger Band contracts or becomes slimmer. So eventually, we're going to see in the charts later that when the trend started to go up or down, their bands become narrower or contracts. Then the system generates buy and sell whenever there is a crossover between price and the B band and the RSI itself. So dalawa lang. So mag-cross ang price and when the RSI level na i-crossover niya. So I'm going to explain it further in the next slide. So here we are. We have example chart of EEI. It's an old chart. So we're going to see here in the green circle where the price move above the B band, the Bollinger Band, and the price and the RSI moves above the level 50. So that is a buy signal actually, coming from its old trend, downtrend siya before, then it reversed into an uptrend. So just to continue to move up the price, if you manage to digest from 6 pesos, umakyat siya hanggang 14 to 15 price, no? And then we have the reversal somewhere between October and the red circle, where the price drops below the Bollinger Band and the RSI drops below 50. So that is actually the signal for sell. So we have the buy signal and the sell signal. So that there's nothing much more uh, complication to the both of the indicators. So magkasabay lang sa dalawa. Okay. So with regards to the PSE and its year-end targets and what's next for 2024, may pag-aasa pa ba? Well, as to those who are trading right now in PSE, no, kikita mo natin desperation. It's very hard to navigate. Ika nga, no? But let's check some interesting charts right now. Okay. So what we have here is the US government bonds, so 10-year, no? Sabi nila, I've spoke to some fundamentalists about at BOH, ito ngayon yung binabantayan. Because when the rate sa US Treasury, sa bonds, drops further, it will entice people to move their funds into equities. So right now, if you notice, the rates are below the Bollinger Band, and the RSI is below 50. So that's the kind of signal that we're looking into. That's a sell signal. Now, and looking into its weekly chart, we have here, it's still an uptrend, no? But we have some sort of divergence. We call this P12 bears divergence. So makikita natin, no, I pointed out that the interest rate, and I mean the rate of the US 10-year is going to drop further to around 3%. Well, hope so, no? Okay, because of yes, because of the P12 bearish divergence. The divergence happened when the previous high, yung RSI niya is currently at around 70 level, then it made a new high, but its RSI does not make a new high, so it's divergent. So it's a sell signal as well. So currently the weekly chart of US 10-year is divergent itself and provide us and telling us or suggesting us that the topic scenario about the US 10-year. So hope so, no? So that the equity market will come alive later part of this year, no? So December maybe, and for the whole half 2024. So okay, so
Yeah, pag
another chart.
sinabing divergence, Spyfrat, di ba, ibig sabihin kahit umaakyat, nakikita natin sa chart, umaakyat yung presyo, pero there is an indicator sa baba na parang bumababa. So it's an opposite,
Yes.
it's an opposite direction, kaya divergent. And
Yes,
divergence.
yung pag-aakyat niya is term is yung momentum is very weak. Weak yung pag-aakyat niya. So that itself is a call for a sell signal as well.
Okay.
Okay, so next slide is about US dollar and peso rate. So makikita natin we have been seeing the peso breaching around the 57 previous weeks, no? And in fact, it almost did the 58 level. So medyo, oh my goodness, parang ganon.
Yeah.
So added added injury na naman to. Because peso rate as well is being reflected to inflation, right? No, so right now, the weekly chart of the peso rate against the dollar is the peso is showing sign of strength. No, nasa binggit na siya ng going down to the Bollinger Band, and in fact, its RSI is already deep below the RSI level 50, which is triggered na rin ng pag-sell. So this is a sell signal if you're trading US dollar peso rate, which favors the peso right now to become stronger value in the coming weeks or so. So hopefully it goes to around 53, 52 level. Kawaan po. Okay, then we have the Philippine Composite Index. So right now, may pag-asa, I think, no? May pag-asang index natin. If you notice, I've drawn a line, downtrend line, since August. And it's being challenged, no? When I made this chart. And right now, kanina, nag-above na siya sa downtrend ng PSEI index. So, short-term downtrend line yan, nag-break. And sa chart, it was still at 49 level. But I think earlier, when the stock market closes na, it goes above 50. So, there's a potential for it to be on a reversal mode. And hopefully, we're going to see exciting days, no? Hopefully.
Hopefully, exciting days na. Yan.
So,
Pag
kasi
sinabing reversal, nagkakaroon ng changes sa momentum kasi right now, hindi siya paakyat. Tama ba, Spyfrat? Ngayon, nagkakaroon
meron siyang downtrend line na nabasag na yon. So it's one
yun.
one kind of parang a little hope for the market right now. So short
Alright.
term, yes, okay.
Short term.
Then it's monthly, no, index sa chart. The numbers that you're using right now, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then the letter A and B, then the big number 1 and 2. This is what we call in BOH the Diego Mohicas, no? Si Jet Mojica nagka-pioneer nito. We call it the RSI full cycle framework. So right now, we are now contemplating moving forward to the B. If you notice a chart. So monthly ng PSEI still downtrend because price is below the B band and RSI is still below the level 50. And we have challenges over there. So RSI, we have a downtrend line that it's been flirting since I think March of this year. So makikita nyo yung early part ng 2003 hanggang ngayon, it's been flirting with the downtrend line sa RSI. Now, moving forward, if it managed to break that RSI downtrend line, then we're going to see happy days and going for the point B. Okay, so we still spoke to Jet earlier, and his prognosis is that we're going to see market going for some nice bounce and rally, no, within 6 months or so in the 2014. So after that, let's see kung ano mangyayari.
Sa mundo ng stock market, isang music sa tenga kapag naririnig yung bounce and rally. And and
Yes.
seeing happy days. Happy days are here again. Tamang-tama, magpapasko na.
Yes, indeed. Okay. So for my stock picks, balik natin ma'am sa isang slide. I choose to pick, actually maraming pick, no? But ito na lang, blue chip, Jollibee Corporation.
Aba,
Yes, its daily chart, it broke in the downtrend line when it was trading around 215, I think. Then it moved up, then the price goes above the Bollinger Band and its RSI level 50. So both indicators says it is bullish sa daily chart ng Jollibee. So right now, close earlier kanina is around 239, I think 240, no? So umakyat ulit. Then it's monthly chart, I think. Here we're going to see, monthly chart here. It's the stock, its RSI already breached the 50 level. The stock price managed to hold the B band. And it's been on that scenario, no? It's been trying to break the 260 level price already. So, sana ma-break yung 260 na yan na sobrang hardcore break sa monthly charts. And once it did, no, I think we're going to see new highs for Jollibee. Yun.
it's been a while since Jollibee is not in,
Yes.
in a bull run. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. So another stock that I like to pick, no, is the monthly chart of GT Cap. Imagine, no, it's been on the downtrend since August of 2016. So 7 years. 2023 na ngayon down.
Para sa
Yes.
mga nanonood, GT Capital has, ano nga yung products under GT Capital na stock?
Metro Bank, Toyota, yes. It has a big shares in Metro Pacific as well, yung nag-release. Yun. So it's been a downtrend since 2016. So and currently, the price is now trying to break that downtrend. So again, hopefully, no, once it breaks the downtrend, it's a potential play candidate for going long. Because imagine 2016, a downtrend line, then a break mo yan, then I believe it's going farther up. So kaya siguro higher price, 800, 1,000. Let's see. But important thing first, no, is to break that downtrend line since August of 2016.
Grabe, 7 years. Sabi nga nila year of completion daw. Baka it's the cycle. The cycle has already starting for GT Capital. So let's see, next slide. Okay,
Yes.
na pala.
Yun. Sa
Yon,
next one.
napakadami namin. Ayun yung sinasabi natin, Spyfrat, no? There are good companies. Kaya nga lang, minsan, the good companies are not in season to be, and to enter and invest in the market. Kaya tayo
Yes.
nagkakaroon ng tinatawag na technical analysis so we can figure out when is the best time, kung kailan sila in season to enter in the stock market with this, good and well-established companies. Ngayon,
Yes.
naniniwala kami dito sa Follow the Money na there is a way to learn, and that is to, check out some of the stock market memes. At ngayon, may bibigay ako sa iyo stock market meme, Spyfrat, and tell me
Okay.
if there is an instance that you have felt that this is, that you were able to relate to this. A stock market crash is worse than divorce. You lose half of your money unless your wife is still around. How true is this, my rat?
No, my wife is my biggest inspiration and my kids, no.
Naks
I've seen
naman.
worse in my life. And you know what? Nandun siya palagi. So, yun. She stick with me. I don't know why. Yes.
Kinikilig yung audience natin ngayon, Spyfrat. Hindi natin
Yes,
nakikita
yes.
yung side na yan sa'yo.
I know you're going to watch this, Mama, but one thing for sure is that I love you very much. Just as
Naks,
soon as
akala ko,
possible.
February na ba? Hindi pa naman yata, pero upcoming na. Nakakatuwa naman. Bakit kaya nagkaroon ng ganitong klase ng memes, Spyfrat? Why do you think? What is the wisdom or probably the wit behind this meme?
I know maybe they're not happy with their wives. Yes.
Sa
So,
mga,
buti na yung divorce, no, kaysa sa matalo. But if you're, yeah, sabi nga nila, happy wives makes you a happy family.
tama, happy wife is equal to happy life.
Yeah?
Ayan,
Happy
so
life
yan.
yun. Yun, that's
Naku,
true.
lagot
That's,
ka, Spyfrat.
that's true in my part, yes.
So one last thing that you want to impart in terms of learning the stock market, trading, and other investments, Spyfrat, for our viewers today.
Okay. Usually, I told my supposed to be clients, no, and sa seminars na rin. Kasi mostly sa seminars, palaging they show how rewarded you can have when you invest in stock market, but little less about how to manage risk, right? Okay. So if you wanted to invest in stock market, start small. Say, for example, if you wanted to invest 20,000, start with 10,000. And if the stock price plummets or bumagsak in half, and you're still okay with that, then you add more. But in the case that your investment drops big time and you kind of having a cold sweat at night and things like that, then we stop. Because hindi para sa iyo yung risk sa stock market. Yun lang. And I think the most super gas na term sa stock market is the most abused word is long term. For me, sa mga new investors, you haven't yet experienced how to invest. Then how can I say that this is good for long term, right? To be honest, I've been in the stock market for more than 20 years and still, no, I'm having chills of having long-term investments. So, but historically, stock price do go up long-term, no? Like Jollibee, ICTSI, things like that. But there are as well that have gone not so. I don't know what is happening to Petron. I don't know what is happening to Mega World. But if you check the chart of those two, last 1995 to 1998, they're still way below. So there, makikita mo man yung mihora nila, but I don't know. Sabi mo nga earlier, even the company is that fundamentally sound, but kung hindi nila talaga time, they will not go up and stock prices will not go up. Just like what I've seen the earlier this slide with GT Capitals. No? That right now, GT Capital is in a 7-year downtrend and it's about to break. Let's hope so. Okay.
Thank you so much, Spyfrat. That is very very accurate when it comes to, you're very articulate in terms of like giving us the bits and pieces of stock market trading, especially in terms of reading the charts. I hope we can see you next time, Spyfrat.
My pleasure po, ma'am. Thank you very much in having me here.
God bless you too.
God bless you.
We are now living in a global village. Paliit ng mundo. While it has its own downsides and a lot of opportunities could also come from this. For example, ang lawak na ng market natin. Lahat pwede mo nang maging customer, maging client, boss, o maging empleyado. I remember what Hillary Clinton said, it takes a village to raise a child. For me, I believe it takes children to take care of a village. Let's use internet wisely. Let's use it to earn money. Thank you, Rich Takers. I am China Barachina. Follow me, follow your dreams, and the money will follow right after. Thank you, and God bless you. See you soon.